Hey guys, my name is Jordan Lally. I had the opportunity to speak with many of you last year when the Ed Lally Foundation and the Big Infinite, we brought our Power of Expression Mental Health Awareness Assembly to the school. But for those of you who don't know me, I am a meditation teacher, a mental health advocate, and a singer-songwriter. I was none of those things throughout most of my 20s. In fact, I didn't sing out loud till I was 27. I didn't play guitar till I was 29. And I didn't start meditating until I was 34. At 34, I lost my father to a battle of clinical depression that culminated in suicide. And that really, for me, forced me to take a closer look at my own mental health or lack thereof, my own depression, my own anxiety. And so I did so through a practice of meditation. Over the course of weeks, months, years of meditating, it helped me to heal in ways that I never imagined possible, and sort of naturally led me to helping others who were struggling and teaching them meditation. And so the music, the meditation, they became this twofold message of mental health that I use through my advocacy, through the Ed Lally Foundation. And really it's all about self-awareness and self-expression. Now, I am quarantined at home with my wife, my two young daughters, ages 2 and 7, and my mom. And amidst this quarantine, my wife has taken it upon herself for us to organize our entire house. And in the midst of that organization, I stumbled upon my yearbook from John Carroll, my senior year. And I noticed my quote from my senior yearbook was from Mark Twain. "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it." Courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. I have no clue where my 18-year-old self pulled this quote from. I'm sure I did so I could appear sophisticated, but I can promise you that I was in no way living my life by those words. I was totally living my life in avoidance of fear, in this absence of fear. And for me, the biggest fear was making a mistake, and particularly making mistakes in front of other people. It caused me great anxiety. It influenced my academics, my athletics, and absolutely influenced my social life, where I was just riddled with social anxiety because I always wanted to be this perfect version of myself for everybody I met. And of course, that's an impossible standard to meet. So it caused me great fear. And so rather than feel that fear, I just sought to avoid social situations. Avoided plenty of life experiences, plenty of opportunities to meet new people, and more just my life became sort of confined by social anxiety, confined by my avoidance of fear. One of the ways that I started to step out of that fear was through self-expression. And that really came to the forefront of my life when I was 25. Now we're in the midst of one of these sort of fear-inducing moments, these experiences, these big moments in life where all the semblance of control that we think we might have is just taken away from us. And so this is sort of what I experienced at 25, my 25th birthday, actually. I showed up at my parents' house for what was supposed to be a family birthday party, and my father had gone missing. So instead of a birthday party, it was a search party. Now, at this point in my life, I had no clue that my father struggled with depression and anxiety. My parents had shielded me from that. So I was completely unaware, completely clueless when we set out to drive all throughout Harford County, just looking for any sign of my dad. We had no clue where he was, what was going on. And so we searched for the entirety of my 25th birthday, just looking for any sign of my dad or his car, to no avail. Fortunately, mercifully, we got a call from the police the next morning. My father had been found, thankfully alive. He had survived an attempt of suicide at a hotel, and he was being rushed to the hospital. And so my family and I, we collected ourselves and we rushed to the hospital to meet him there. When we had the opportunity to speak with him, he was full of remorse, full of regret. He was emoting, he was crying, upon reflection, I could see that he was full of shame. He was really embarrassed by the circumstances. And as I found out later, he had asked my mom never to tell any of us about any of his experiences of depression or anxiety. And so that's really was echoed in that conversation that I had with him in the hospital room. He said, he was sorry. He said he loved us all very much. He said he would never happen again. And then he urged us not to tell a soul about it. And he asked us just not even to talk about it within the family again. He said he would be fine, he would take care of it, he was good to go. He was not ready to face his fears. he was not ready to master his fears. He was just wanted to sort of shove them down and avoid them and live his life in the absence of fear. And as a 25-year-old young man, I was pretty much happy to sweep it under the rug with him. I didn't want to face the fact that my father struggled this way. My father, who was my best friend, was my soccer coach, biggest supporter of the band, and always on the sidelines when I was playing soccer or basketball. I didn't want to face the fact that he struggled, and I didn't want to face the light that it invariably shined upon my own struggles at the time. So I was happy to sweep it under the rug. However, something about that experience shifted my perspective as it related to self-expression. And so coming out of that experience, I started to write songs. I didn't play guitar at the time, so I was just primarily writing lyrics. I would get together with another buddy of mine who was a guitar player who also went to John Carroll, and we would write some songs together. And one song at a time, I really found a bit of healing. And I wasn't really in this place as I am today where I'm happy to speak about my fears. But just putting pen to paper and writing them down started to provide me a measure of relief. And I wasn't avoiding those fears anymore. I was really starting to take a closer look at what I was thinking and feeling through my songwriting. And so I'd like to share a song with you guys now that largely speaks to one of my fears and my experiences with depression, which very often revolved around my career in the music business. Again, in line with this perfect version of myself that I always wanted to achieve, I applied that directly to my career in the music business. And no matter what I accomplished, it was never enough. And so my band and I started off touring, and I wanted to tour the East Coast. And so we toured up and down the East Coast from Florida up to Boston. And then that wasn't enough. That wasn't good enough. And so then I wanted to tour nationally, and we did that. And then that wasn't good enough. And then I needed to tour with bigger bands and bigger festivals, on and on and on. And I just was never fulfilled. I was always sort of chasing this perfect standard, avoiding this fear that maybe I wasn't enough or whatever the case may be. I'll let the song speak for itself. This song gives voice to my fear, to my depression, and the song's called The Truth. I think I'm out and my time has come. The truth, it hurts and so does love. Followed my heart into my grave, a lost cause till my dying day. I gave my all, yet still no peace. What's a dream but war for me? So I go with the chips I fall. The best case, I'm an afterthought. Take my tears and toss them away from me. 'Cause I keep holding on, and they're all that's left. Nothing more moving than the truth. Nothing more moving than the truth. Of all the judgment, doubt and evil on the tip of every tongue. Oh, how to come to know a world so devoid of any love. Me the captain of the captives, me the king of all the fools, me the big fish lost forever in the depths of shallow pools. Take my tears and toss them away for me, 'cause I keep holding on, and they're all that's left. Nothing more moving than the truth. Nothing more moving than the truth. And it's moving me to you. Nothing more moving than the truth. I won't run from your pain, my dear, I won't run. I'll be right by your bedside till your darkest day comes, and stay till it goes, and long after it's gone. Whether you're here with me or whether you're lost, 'cause I know how the road can burn up like the sun, and I know how the stars can bear down from above. All the love and the pain, boy, I know it's too much. But see, I am right here, and I'll never be anywhere else. Me the captain of the captives, me the king of all the fools, me the big fish lost forever to the depths to find my truth. Nothing more moving than the truth. Nothing more moving than the truth. And it's moving me to you. Nothing more moving than the truth. The truth. The truth. The truth. Nothing more moving than the truth. Take my tears and toss them away for me, 'cause I keep holding on, and they're all that's left. Alrighty, so you might have noticed about 2/3 of the way through that song, the perspective shifts. The first 2/3 are all about sort of expressing my depression, giving voice to my depression. And then 2/3 of the way through, it shifts to really expressing depression, to accepting depression. And this is really where we start to tap into our mastery of fear. Mastery begins and ends with our acceptance. We accept ourselves as we are, and in doing so, we're able to transcend our limitations of our perceived limitations of depression and anxiety, of our fears. And so I would certainly invite all of you to tap into the power of expression, to give voice to anything you're thinking or feeling, perhaps something that this pandemic has conjured up within you. It manifests for all of us in different ways. And so give voice to that. It could be something as simple as a journal entry, or maybe you want to write a song or a poem or some sort of creative expression. Or we could even participate in our the Ed Lally Foundation's Truth Campaign, which is all about putting truth out there on social media using the hashtag #MyTruth. You put out your vulnerability to the world, to your friends, to your family, to those you're connected with on social media. And in doing so, you'll really start to shift away from your avoidance of fear and start to face your fears. And in doing so, you'll start to realize that vulnerability really creates a tremendous amount of strength. Anyway, shifting gears from self-expression to self-awareness, the other half of my journey that has been transformative has been the practice of meditation. Now, when I started meditating, I could not think straight. I couldn't sit still. I was depressed. I was anxious, and I started meditating the day after my dad's funeral. So I was also grieving the loss of my father. But I stuck with it, and as I said in the beginning, in ways that I never imagined possible, it's allowed me to cope with depression and anxiety and to heal from those experiences. And so I'd like to guide us in an experience of meditation. But before I do so, I want to dispel perhaps the biggest misconception about meditation, and that's that you're supposed to stop your thoughts. This is not the case at all. You're not supposed to close your eyes and meditate and then instantaneously just clear your mind. That's not how it works. It's not about the absence of thought. It's about the mastery of our thoughts. It's about accepting our wandering mind. And so we might focus on a meditation anchor, which for this meditation is going to be our breath. So we'd focus on our breath, and naturally the mind will wander. We'll find ourselves lost in thought. And so whenever we are, we just notice and then return to our meditation anchor, to our breath. And so we're focused on our breath. We're focused, and then the mind wanders. We notice, and then we return to the breath. It doesn't matter how often the mind wanders. It doesn't matter what it wanders off to. We just notice whenever it does, and then return to the present moment through the experience of the breath. And so for this meditation, we're going to do a specific breathing technique that is very powerful in terms of navigating and finding a bit of healing through fear. And that is a technique that I call the easy breath. And so you inhale through the nose, fill the lungs, and then exhale slow and steady through pursed lips. So inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs, Exhaling slow and steady through pursed lips. It's that simple. By extending your exhaling breath, you will naturally induce your parasympathetic response, your relaxation response. So when we're afraid, when we're feeling fear or anxiety, we enter our sympathetic nervous system state. So our heart beats faster, our body tenses up. And sort of the antidote to that is the parasympathetic state. And just by extending our exhalation, we will signal to our nervous system and to our body and mind that we're safe, we're secure, and that we can start to relax and find ease, just simply by extending the exhalation. So when we purse our lips on that exhale, it helps to regulate the flow of breath, to slow it down, and then to invite that ease into the nervous system. I invite you to get yourself settled for this meditation. You might want to address your environment, perhaps turn down the lights or lock the door, or tell your parents or your brothers or sisters that you're going to be meditating for a few minutes. And then come into some sort of meditation posture. If you've never meditated before, that's okay. You could lie down flat on your back on the floor or in your bed. You could sit up in a chair, as I'm doing. You can sit in a more traditional meditation posture, as my daughter Kai would say, crisscross applesauce. But take a few moments to get yourself settled into a meditation posture. And then once you settle in, I would invite you to close your eyes. Now, through the course of this meditation, we're going to focus on the breath. And about halfway through, I'm going to introduce a song to the meditation. As I play that song, just remain anchored to the breath, anchored to the sound of the song, the music. Anytime you find yourself lost in thought, just notice, become aware, and then return to the breath. So we'll begin our meditation together with 3 deep breaths. Let's inhale through the nose and sigh it out. And again, inhaling through the nose and sigh it out. And lastly, in through the nose and sigh it out. Now, coming into our easy breathing technique right away, just begin inhaling through the nose and then exhaling slow and steady through our pursed lips, gently extending our exhaling breath. Inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs, and exhaling slow and steady through those pursed lips. Focusing your attention and your awareness on this experience of the breath. Naturally, the mind will wander. Whenever it does, we just notice and return to the breath. In through the nose, slow and steady out through the mouth. One breath at a time, we accept ourselves just as we find ourselves. And so if there's discomfort, aches or pains in the body, then so be it. One breath at a time, we accept how we feel on a physical level. If we can address those aches or pains by adjusting our posture, then feeling free to do so. In either case, just remaining connected to every breath in through the nose, and every breath out, slow and steady through the mouth. Accepting how we find ourselves emotionally in this moment. If there's a sense of tension or ease, if there's a sadness or a happiness, engagement or boredom, however we find ourselves emotionally, there's nothing to change. Nothing to manage or control. Just remain connected to the breath and feel how you feel. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling slow and steady through those pursed lips. And one breath at a time, accepting our headspace exactly as we find it. Thoughts are racing, If there's a persistent thought or story, and so be it. As often as your attention is called away, just become aware. And then gently, without judgment, return to your breath in through the nose, slow and steady out through the mouth. Realizing a greater capacity for acceptance without condition, one breath at a time. Maintain your focus on the breath as I offer this song. Anytime you find yourself lost in thought, just returning to the breath, to the sound of the music, to the present moment. I choose to stand, though my head tells me otherwise. With my heart beating out my chest, singing hallelujah to whoever's listening. Can we let this kingdom come? I am love before anything else. It's just sometimes I must remind myself. And I choose to laugh in the face of depression, with all these tears running down my face. The truth of freedom is her joy and sorrow, no before tomorrow, only now. I am love before anything else. It's just sometimes I must remind myself. I am worthy of an unconditional love. I am worthy of an unconditional love. I am worthy of all the dreams that I can muster up. I am worthy of an unconditional love. And I choose to dance when my body is failing me, 'cause I am more than just these shaking bones. For far too long I've pushed you all away from me, but now it's time for us to know I am love before anything else. It's just sometimes I must remind myself. I am love before anything else. It's just sometimes I must remind myself. So as you're ready, I would invite you to open your eyes. You might feel inclined to move or stretch a bit. Perhaps that meditation was peaceful for some, certainly maybe frustrating for some. It might have been emotional, might have been boring. This is all meditation. It is, rather than this forceful pursuit of peace, it is a practice of unconditional self-love, a practice of unconditional self-acceptance. We cultivate this greater ability to be, this willingness to be present with ourselves, just as we find ourselves present with our anxiety, present with our depression, present with our fear. And so we start to cultivate this ability to master our fears through our willingness to be present with them. And so self-awareness, self-expression, these are powerful tools, not only individually, but also socially. We can, certainly through our self-expression, we can allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Our vulnerability will serve as a source of strength for other people who are struggling. And certainly perhaps that reigns true now more than ever. We realize, even though we're at a physical distance from one another, that we can provide a source of strength for one another. And very often a source of strength can be found through another's willingness to be vulnerable. And so I'd like to share one final song with you guys that really speaks to this. Our foundation's motto is "Together we heal," and I think that reigns true again now more than ever. And so this song is called "Need You to Know." I need you to know that I can't take this rain alone. I'll be your shelter, baby, if you will be my home. And we're gonna take this weather on. Roll down the night and hold tight till that moon, 'cause I don't need none of that light chasing or taking me from you. And I need you to know that I can't take this weight alone. The world is bearing down, but your shoulders share the load. I need you more than you could know. Roll down the night and hold tight to that moon, 'cause I don't need none of that light chasing or taking me from you. Yes, I need you to know that I can't sing this song alone. No, no, stay the rock, my dear, and just let me roll. And we gonna write ourselves a song. I'll stay the rock, my dear, just let you roll. And we gonna write ourselves a song. So thank you, Katie, for putting this together. Thank you, Molly, and the entire John Carroll community for welcoming me once again. And I will keep you in my thoughts, and wish you all the best. Stay healthy, stay happy, and God bless.